Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to another edition of our Dailyish Devotionals. I am Pastor Brian, and thank you for joining me this morning. I'm going to try something a little bit different today. It's going to come out of Max's book, God Came Near, but I'm going to read to you a story that he has in here because, frankly, I can't say it any better. It was a story that caught my attention, so I like the Amazing Grace. I don't want to cheat you out of any more of your devotional time here, so let's get started. Max writes, the title of his chapter is Light of the Storage Closet. He says he experiences a blackout in his house, and he goes downstairs to find some candles. This is the conversation that he ends up having with the candles. "Hold it," I said. That was that voice again. My hands began to sweat. "Who said that?" "I did. The voice was near my hand." "Who are you? What are you?" "I'm a candle." I looked at the candle I was holding. It was burning, strong golden flame. It was red and sat in a heavy wooden candle holder that had a firm handle. I looked around once more to see if the voice could be coming from another source. "There's no one here but you, me, and the rest of our candles," the voice informed me. I lifted the candle to take a closer look, and sure enough, there was a little face there in the wax. "Don't take me out of here," the candle said. "What?" I said, "Don't take me out of this room." "What do you mean? I have to take you out. You're a candle. Your job is to give light. It's dark out there. People are stubbing their toes and walking into walls. You have to come out and light up the place." "But you can't take me out. I'm not ready," the candle explained. "I need more preparation." I couldn't believe my ears. More preparation? Yeah, I've decided I need to research this job of light giving so I won't go out and make a bunch of mistakes. You'd be surprised how distorted the glow of an untrained candle can be. So I'm doing some studying. I just finished a book on wind resistance. I'm in the middle of a great series of tapes on wick buildup and conservation. And I'm reading a new bestseller on flame display. Have you heard of it? "No," I answered. "You might like it. It's called Waxing Eloquently." That really sounds I caught myself. What am I doing? I'm in here conversing with a candle while my wife and daughters are out there in the darkness. "All right, then," I said. "You're not the only candle on the shelf. I'll blow you out and take the others." But just as I got my cheeks full of air, I heard other voices. "We aren't going either." It was a conspiracy. I turned around and looked at the three other candles, each with flames dancing above a miniature face. I was beyond feeling awkward about talking to candles. I was getting miffed. "You are candles, and your job is to light dark places." "Well, that may be what you think," said the candle on the far left, a thin, long fellow with a goatee and a British accent. "You may think we have to go, but I'm busy." "Busy?" "Yes, I'm meditating." "What? A candle meditates?" "Yes, I'm meditating on the importance of light. You might call it enlightening." I decided to reason with them. "Listen, I appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm all for meditation time, and everyone needs to study and research. But for goodness sake, you guys have been in here for weeks. Haven't you had enough time to get your wick on straight?" "And the other two," I asked, "are you going to stay in here as well?" A short, fat purple candle with plump cheeks that reminded me of a Santa Claus spoke up. "I'm waiting to get my life together. I'm not stable enough. I lose my temper easily. I guess you could say that I'm a hothead." The last candle had a female voice, very pleasant to the ear. "I'd like to help," she explained, "but lighting the darkness is not my gift." All this was sounding too familiar. "Not your gift? What do you mean?" "Well, I'm a singer. I sing to other candles to encourage them to burn more brightly." Without asking my permission, she began a rendition of This Little Light of Mine. The other three joined in, filling the storage room with singing. "Hey!" I shouted above the noise. "I don't mind if you sing while you work. In fact, we could use a little music out there." They didn't hear me. They were singing too loudly. I yelled louder. "Come on, you guys. There's plenty of time for this later. We've got a crisis on our hands." They wouldn't stop. I put the big candle on the shelf and took a step back and considered the absurdity of it all. Four perfectly healthy candles singing to each other about light but refusing to come out of the closet. I had all I could take. One by one, I blew them out. They kept singing to the end. The last one to flicker was the female. I snuffed her right in the puff part of "Won't Let Satan Puff Me Out." I stuck my hands in my pocket and walked back out in the darkness. I bumped my knee on the same freezer. Then I bumped into my wife. "Where are the candles?" she asked. They won't work." "Where'd you buy those candles anyway?" "Oh, they're church candles. Remember the church that closed down across town? I bought them there. I understood. Interesting story. A story that echoes across all churches. My church, your church, if you don't belong to my church, if you consider yourself a part of a church, it's the same. It's the same probably in even most volunteer organizations, unfortunately. The old saying where 20% of the people do 80% of the work. If you think about the church that you belong to, if you go to the church, if you go to the functions, you probably mostly see the same people doing different things, serving meals, cleaning up tables, teaching Sunday school, helping with our volunteer activities. It's mostly the same people. Why is it so hard to get volunteers to do something? You know, if I had answered that, I'd probably write a book and I could retire a rich, happy man. There's all kinds of theories, but that is one of my biggest fears that I have for my church, for all churches when this is all done. We've gotten out of the habit of coming to church on Sunday mornings. Now, yes, there is a pandemic, there is a virus that's highly contagious and more dangerous to the demographic of people that usually come to church. Completely understood. Completely understand why there isn't as much in-person attendance. Maybe there should be no in-person attendance right now. But if we eventually get back to normal, are people coming back? Right? We're out of the habit. And once we're out of the habit, it's really hard to get started back in. I read an article talking about church, and this author in the article, he figured 20% churches would lose their attendance from pre-pandemic to post-pandemic, whenever things start back up again normal. In our average attendance, that's about 10 people that won't show up in church again. Makes me sad and makes me worried. But beyond the pandemic and just attending church, that story should resonate with us. If you're part of the church that I serve, or if you're part of a different church, or if you're not part of a church at all, why don't we serve more? Why don't we help out more? Is those excuses? Too busy, I have different gifts, no one has specifically asked me to help. That thing drives me nuts when I hear that. You've got to be kidding. You need to be asked. Oh, that's a rabbit hole I don't want to fall down. Or I'm busy doing something else. I'm learning more about it. Maybe next time. All the excuses are there, and that's just what they are. So maybe a challenge for these times is when church, quote unquote, get back to normal, when it's maybe safer to attend, or you feel safe enough to attend, if you have the ability, if your church is meeting in person, find a way to help out. You know, do a wild and crazy thing and ask the minister, where could I help? If your minister doesn't have a heart attack from someone asking that question, I'll bet you find a place to serve. You see something lacking in the church, in the place that you serve, in a volunteer part, they need something in your community, step up, lead, organize something to fill that gap or that need. Instead of grumbling about how it's not done right or grumbling how it's not done at all, be the light. I'll never understand that. We are so good at complaining, but ask us to help. No, I can't do that. What a difference we can make if we truly would. Happiness consists in giving and serving others. Where can you be service to others? Too busy to serve others? Then you're frankly too busy.